We begin with a psychological paradox that defies our basic intuition of human social dynamics. We are taught from childhood that to make a friend, we must give. To gain favor, we must be useful. To win over an enemy, we must offer a peace treaty or a gift. But the reality of the human mind is far more complex and, in many ways, far more manipulative. There's a phenomenon known as the Ben Franklin effect, and it suggests that the quickest way to turn a rival into an ally is not to do something for them, but to convince them to do something for you. This is not a trick of social etiquette. It is a deep-seated exploit in the cognitive architecture of the brain. When we ask an enemy for a small, strategic favor, we are triggering a mechanism called cognitive dissonance. The human mind cannot easily tolerate a contradiction between its actions and its beliefs. If I believe I dislike you, yet I find myself handing you a book or offering you advice, my brain experiences a profound discomfort. To resolve this tension, the mind must rewrite its internal narrative. It tells itself, I wouldn't be doing a favor for someone I hate, therefore, I must actually like them more than I thought. This strategy was famously mastered by Benjamin Franklin when he encountered a rival legislator who possessed a very rare and curious book in his library. Rather than attempting to bribe the man or win him over with flattery, actions that usually trigger suspicion and defensive barriers, Franklin wrote a note expressing his desire to peruse the volume and asked that the man would do him the favor of lending it for a few days. The rival complied. A week later, when they met in the house, the man spoke to Franklin with a civility he had never shown before. They became lifelong friends. What Franklin understood was that the favor acted as a psychological bridge. By asking for something small and non-threatening, he forced the rival to invest in him. This is the secret of the strategic favor. It creates a sunk cost in the other person's mind. Once someone has helped you, they have a subconscious vested interest in your well-being. They have spent energy on you. And to justify that expenditure, their ego must convince them that you are worthy of the effort. Most people fail in their social interactions because they try to buy affection through people-pleasing. They become the nice person we have discussed before, constantly offering favors and hoping for reciprocity. But this often has the opposite effect. Constant giving can feel like a burden to the receiver. It creates a debt that they may not want to repay, leading to resentment and distance. However, when you ask for a favor, you are signaling a specific type of vulnerability. You are acknowledging that the other person has something you lack, be it knowledge, a tool, or skill. This subtly strokes their ego and places them in a position of perceived strength. It removes the threat. An enemy is usually an enemy because they feel a need to compete or defend. By asking for a favor, you are stepping out of the arena of competition and into a space of cooperation. You are giving them the opportunity to feel superior in a benevolent way, and that feeling is highly addictive. In the landscape of the unconscious, we are constantly trying to maintain a consistent image of ourselves. If you view yourself as a good person and you perform a kind act for a rival, your psyche must align that act with your identity. You cannot easily view yourself as a good person who helps bad people. Therefore, the easiest path for the brain is to upgrade its opinion of the rival. This is why the favor must be small. If the favor is too large, it creates pressure and suspicion. But a strategic, small request, asking for a specific recommendation, borrowing a low-value item, or seeking a minor piece of expertise, is the Trojan horse of social psychology. It slips past the gates of the enemy's defenses and begins to reorganize their internal emotional map from the inside out. You aren't asking for their friendship. You are asking for their participation in your reality. The true danger of the Ben Franklin hack is that it works even when the other person is aware of psychological tactics. It is nearly impossible to override the feeling of liking someone you have helped. We do not love people for what they have done for us. We love them for what we have done for them. The more a person invests in you, the more they find you charming, capable, and deserving. This is how you flip the script of rejection. If you are being excluded or ignored, do not try to impress them with your achievements. Instead, find a way to make them a contributor to your success. Ask for their wise counsel on a trivial matter. Ask to borrow a specific tool they take pride in. By doing so, You are forcing their brain to resolve the conflict between their previous coldness and their current cooperation. The mirror of their perception cracks, and in those cracks, a new, more favorable reflection of you begins to form. You aren't just winning an argument. You are re-engineering the very chemistry of their social bond with you. In the long term, this creates a cycle of positive reinforcement. Once the initial favor is done and the cognitive dissonance is resolved, the path is clear for genuine interaction. The enemy is now psychologically primed to see the best in you because their ego is now protecting the investment they made in that first favor. To admit you are a bad person would be to admit they made a mistake in helping you. And since most people's egos will not allow them to be wrong, they will continue to find reasons to support you, defend you, and eventually like you. This is the ultimate move of social chess. It is not about force, it is about invitation. It is about understanding that the human heart follows the lead of the human hand. If you can get their hand to move in your direction, their heart has no choice but to follow. When a request for a favor is met with a no, the average person retreats in shame, allowing rejection to solidify the wall between themselves and their adversary. But the master of social psychology understands that a no is not a wall. It is a different type of door. In the realm of the unconscious, a rejection creates its own form of psychological tension. If someone refuses a small, reasonable request, they often experience a fleeting, subconscious pang of guilt or a sense of being difficult. This is where the strategy shifts from the Ben Franklin effect to the door-in-the-face technique. By receiving rejection with grace and absolute lack of resentment, you are setting a trap of moral superiority. You have asked for help, they have refused, and yet you remain calm, kind, and unbothered. This forces the adversary to confront their own hostility. They begin to wonder why they are being so defensive against someone who is being so reasonable. The no actually softens the ground for the next encounter, because the human ego subconsciously seeks to balance the scales. The next time you approach them, they are statistically more likely to say yes, simply to alleviate the lingering discomfort of the previous refusal. We must understand that an enemy's no is often a test of your internal frame. If you react with anger or social withdrawal, you confirm their bias that you are a threat or an unpleasant person. But if you hold your frame, if you treat the rejection as a total non-event, you demonstrate a level of psychological stoicism that is inherently magnetic. You are showing them that your self-worth is not dependent on their validation. This creates a shift in the power dynamic. Suddenly, the enemy feels that they're the one being watched, the one being analyzed. The rejection was meant to diminish you, but because you refuse to be diminished, the power of that rejection flows back onto them. They are left holding the weight of their own negativity, while you remain light and free. This is the moment where the social shadow of the adversary begins to turn against them. They find themselves thinking about you more often, wondering why they couldn't rattle you. And in that obsession, the seeds of a future alliance are planted. True social mastery involves a third request. After rejection and a period of strategic silence, you return not with a demand, but with a different kind of favor, one that provides them with an out. You ask for their opinion on a topic they are known to be an expert in. This is the most difficult favor for an enemy to refuse, because to refuse is to deny their own expertise. It is a subtle form of flattery that bypasses a logical mind and speaks directly to the narcissism of the ego. When they begin to explain a concept to you or give you advice, they have effectively entered into a teacher-student relationship. In the hierarchy of the human mind, we find it almost impossible to hate our students. A teacher has a biological and psychological drive to see their students succeed, as the student's success is a reflection of the teacher's greatness. By positioning yourself as someone who can be taught by your enemy, you are giving them a safe, high-status way to stop hating you. You have transformed the conflict into a mentorship. This is the deeper alchemy of the broken mirror. The enemy sees in you the parts of themselves they wish to project their power onto. When you allow them to help you or teach you, you are giving them a canvas upon which they can paint their best self. Most people fight for their own territory, but the wise person expands their territory by making others feel like the kings of theirs. You are not losing by asking for help. You are colonizing their mind with a positive version of yourself. You are forcing them to become a good person in relation to you. This is the ultimate hack because it doesn't just change their behavior, it changes their identity. They stop being the person who hates you and become the person who helped you. Once that identity shift occurs, the enmity is dead. It has been replaced by a subtle, unspoken bond of mutual investment. You have turned a predator into a protector, not by fighting them, but by giving them a reason to be proud of how they treat you. In the final analysis, the Ben Franklin hack is a lesson in the fluidity of human character. We are not fixed beings with static emotions. We are a collection of shifting narratives and self-justifications. The person who hates you today is only one strategic favor away from being your greatest advocate tomorrow. The danger of being too nice was that you try to earn love through your own sacrifice. The power of the strategic favor is that you earn respect by allowing others to sacrifice for you. It is a realization that the most direct path to a person's heart is through their own ego. When you master this, you no longer fear enemies because you see them for what they truly are, potential allies who simply haven't been given the right reason to help you yet. You stop standing in front of the broken mirror and start moving the fragments until they reflect exactly the image you want the world to see.